Hello dear students, welcome in this online session of 9th standard. I hope you are fit and fine. The lesson which I am going to teach you today is depending upon the natural resources. This natural resources is actually one of the vital bridge between human life as well as the future. Now, how it can be said as the bridge between human life and the future? It can be said as because human life can be seen or existable only in the future if we sustain or if we develop today natural vegetation. That's how this lesson is all depending upon. The first paragraph, the first line itself says that the vegetation without life or life without vegetation is impossible to be imagined. And that's how today we are going to learn about this lesson, and also we are going to learn about the saving features of this natural resources, as well as how can we go more further in the detail wise regarding this natural resources. How can we protect these natural resources? So the first line says that chapter number 17 class of 9th SS we are reading here. The page number is 131. Natural vegetation as well as the resources. You can see the page, it shows that vegetation is an important part of the human life. So it is difficult to sustain life without vegetation, and that's how it is actually creating we need to accept that our ancient scriptures, sculptures, whatever they gave us the message, it clearly shows that vegetation should be protected well. And India, if we talk about, then India stands fourth in the rank diversifically in Asia in the forest numbers and all. So that's how we can say a forest is actually the main basic source of our life existence, and also it is main basic source of our upcoming generation too. And we need to save that kind of forest resources, utility, animal, plant, trees, everything, almost every creature, or in short I can say that we need to save this earth. So let's start this lecture. Now, what is the forest? A forest is actually a group of trees that actually grown naturally. So that's how it can be said as a forest. Now there are two kinds of vegetations. One is virgin vegetation and one is non-virgin vegetation. Virgin vegetation consists of automatically growing plants. It means that plants are growing itself. They don't need any human help or any kind of other help and all. Non-virgin vegetation do needs human help, and it also needs the care taken from the human. So that's how we can say that there are two kinds of vegetation. Now if we talk about the natural vegetation, then we can say diversity in the natural vegetation in India or in the world can be seen out. But if we talk about the India, then we can say it is divided into basic features. One is relief feature, then soil, temperature, insolation, sunshine. Apart from that, rainfall, humidity in the air, the water, and the soil also. So due to this diversification, relief like mountain, plateaus, plain, desert, etc., diversified plains can be seen out here. So that's how in this vegetation, India is actually seen glorifying its vegetative nature. Now there are different kind of soil also. Example of alluvial soil, black soil, mountainous soil, desert, etc. soils are there. So this shows the variation also from state to state into food, cloth, living, lifestyle, fair, festival, almost everything. So therefore we can say this is the variation of the soils and variation between the different states also in India. As well as we can say that if you move to the Himalayan zone, you'll feel cold. If you go to the South Indian zone, you'll feel moderate climate. If you go to the western part of the Gujarat, Rajasthan, you'll feel the temperature is higher and all. So these are the basic relief features of our India. Now in the detail, if you go further, then you can easily see that the depending thing which is actually noticeable is that human reaction, that is also depending how the vegetation is growing or it is destroying. Human reaction towards the vegetation. Therefore, the insolation over any place depends upon the latitude as well as the altitude, the sunlight falling rays. I am talking about that. And laterally we can say thus there is a diversified in the variation about the vegetation because of sunshine, because sunshine, sunrise and all are not same in all the part of the state of India. So we can be having some kinds of variation in the food, climate, cloth, eatable material and lots of kinds of things. So the rainfall distribution in India is also unequal. It is not that much equal as you are understanding. So which is actually turning the case of diversity in the vegetation also. It means that that is also one of the things which is actually making India into the diversified relief and the features. So that's how we can say this all the beautiful theory of the concept is being understood by us in this lecture. Now if I go with the calculative factor, means if I go with the calculation, then I can say that there are about 5,000 varieties of the trees and in India, out of which 450 trees are used commercially. Commercially means it is actually used for the money purpose, for the medicine purpose, for the business purpose. Beside about 15,000 flowering plants are growing from about like we are forming about 6% of the world, and non-flowering herbal plants are also there around. We can say like we can be counting some names like algae, fern, moss, etc, etc. So these are also available in our country, where India is actually famous for the herbal plants and all. Since from the ancient time you are knowing, my dear student, that Ayurveda has given contribution immensely towards the science and herbal medicines too. So that's how about 2000 medicinal plants are also described in our Ayurveda, as you know that. And thus it can be also said that India has a really a diversified climate, relief feature and systematic theory. So this is how we can say this lecture is making you to understand very well, very perfectly. Now the next topic says that okay, what are the types of natural vegetation? See, existence of the growth of any vegetation depends upon the region, on which region which crop is growing, which tree is growing, which plant is planted. So that's how it will grow like that only. So it is identical. Therefore we can say vegetation is seen mostly identical. Regions such as ecological similar are natural resources. So that's how we can say that okay, other bases, altitude, soil, rainfall, different temperature, natural vegetation, etc are also to be divided into basic 4 parts. So you can see on the screen, it shows you that tropical rainforest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical desert vegetation, temperate forest and grasslands, and also mangroves, that is the tidal forest. Now we are going to learn the first one, tropical rainforest, that is page number 131, same page. Tropical rainforest says that the distribution of this rainforest are found in the hot and humid climate. That's how the rain can be exceeding more than 200, around more than 200 centimeter. Now temperature is more than 22 point something degrees Celsius it can be. Such forests are also found in the heavy rainfall Western Ghats. Now which are the places where you can find the heavy rainfall? You can find the heavy rainfall in the Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, upper region of the Assam, coastal Tamil Nadu, and etc etc. So this is how we can say okay, these kinds of beauty of the trees, plant, nature, flora and fauna can be easily accessed, seen in India. Now, if the tropical rainforest is there, then which kind of trees can be seen? Okay, what kind of assumption can be done? So here are some kinds of special trees of mahogany trees, ebony trees, rosewood, rubber, etc and etc. These are the main trees. Now characteristics, how can you identify that these trees are mahogany trees, rubber trees, or the ebony trees, rosewoods and all? Then you can easily go with the height and their meters also. It's about more than 60 meters tall, and there is more humidity, and also due to scrubs, and this is no season, like there is no season like autumn. So as the trees are evergreen, the forests are also called the evergreen forest. There is no season of autumn means what? Now you can see the map. There is no season of autumn means you cannot find leaf falling there. Every time you go, you find the dark leaf, you find the dark atmosphere due to leaves and all. You will not find that trees are losing their leaves. So this is the example, and this is the you can see the tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical mountain forest, mangrove forest and thorn vegetation. Okay, I'll show you some of the mangrove forest. See, now I'm zooming on the screen, and you can see the brown spot shows you the mangrove forest. Okay, so that's how this map is actually making you understand. This thing is already available in your textbook too. If you are interested to sit with a textbook, then you can go with a textbook also, and that will be helpful to you to understand in this lecture. As well I'm using the smart screen to share you the detailed theory what I am making you explain. So getting further, this was just a small example. Now comes the tropical deciduous forest. Distribution of this generally forest can be found in the region receiving 70 to 200 centimeters rainfall. Such forests are found near northern Himalayas or the northern eastern Ghats. They are the states of Himalayas, foothills, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, eastern slopes of eastern Ghats, and Vindhyachal, that is Vindhya Satpura ranges. There are large proportion of these kinds of tropical deciduous forest, and trees are like sesame, teak, sal, sandalwood, kher, acacia, catechu, bamboo, etc can be seen out here, which actually characteristics can be like they shed their leaves 6 to 8 weeks, alternating. It means that whenever you go there, again you will not find the trees are releasing the leaves. You will see always the trees are full with the leaves, and the whole of the forest is evergreen forest. So that's how we can say okay, there is also like there is never without leaf drying season. Every time you'll find the leaves. As the trees shed their leaves according to the season, these are also called the monsoonal forest, and that's how the next forest comes, that is the tropical desert vegetation. Now vegetation in the desert can be cacti more than watery. So generally such forests are found in the region receiving less than 70 centimeters of the rainfall, and that can be in western, northern Ghats or northwestern Ghats. So that's how we can say Gujarat is there. Rajasthan can be also there, as well as if you are thinking not Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh is also there, some part of Uttar Pradesh is also there. Date, palm, jujubes, acacia, catechu, khijudos, etc. trees are grown there, and laterally we can see that these trees are also used for the eatable purpose, herbal purpose, and lots of kinds of oil purpose also. Now characteristics can be root of these trees are actually planted here long into search of water, widespread, and leaves are shorter so that they can release less amount of water. See, there are technical theory. If you found any kind of tree, if you get any kind of tree in the vegetative part which is desert, obviously there are chances that trees must be having longer roots because they needed to search the water max. And if they needed to search the water max, obviously they needed to go longer distance, and that's how we can say the trees available in the Rajasthan is consisting the great amount of leaves inside and the great amount of roots also, which is actually going internally. So that's how we can say these kinds of trees are actually helping us when we are stuck inside the desert vegetation, or also these types of trees are making somehow vegetation alive in the desert. So that's how we can say evaporation process is also very slow in these kinds of leaves, and because they are shorter, and also evaporation then transpiration process are also very much slow. Now see, a temperate forest of the glaciers Himalayas, but before we read that we need to go with its table. You can see the vegetation of the Himalayas. The table shows 1000 to 2000 meters height mountains, east West Bengal mountain, Uttarakhand. Which kind of trees are there, or the forest can be tropical forest, and the trees are oak and cashew nut, the kaju that you all know. Now 15 to 3000 meters, that is the southern slope of Himalaya to the south of northeast, that can be coniferous forest, pine, sal, silver, then we can say silver fir, spruce also can be seen, these kinds of trees there. Then 3600 meters and more than the mountains, higher altitude in the Himalaya near snow lines can be consisting the tundra vegetation. It can be said as the alpine vegetation or the short grasses also. So silver fir and the birch. It means that a special kind of trees can be seen there or grown. Now a major characteristics of this coniferous forest is actually the trees having the conical shape. Now still, if you don't understand what is the meaning of conical shape, you need to go and really you need to see these leaves which are having conical, the cone shaped leaves, the cone shaped leaves, pointed and sticky, which can conserve humidity for a longer time, because in the snowy zone rain is less and snow is more. So next comes the tidal forest. Tidal forest means the forest which consists of 2 to 3 times tides per day. So distribution of the tidal forests are located in the delta region of the river along with the coast, and there are forests are found along with the Gujarat. Then you can go with the marshal islands along with the Bay of Bengal. Then trees are available like Sundari trees are there, then chair trees are there. These kinds of trees are also grown here. Now see, if these kinds of trees and trees products are there, then we need to go with the productivity of the trees and vegetation and the forest over here. So we can say product and their utility can be also one of the topic that we need to discuss in this lecture. Forests are actually, see my dear student, forests are actually useful to mankind in many ways. But one thing we need to understand that we need to save these trees. We need to save this forest. We should not use to eat these kinds of we should not use to get these kinds of material in the heavy amount. So we must save them. Our future generation can be also enjoying that, and that is the main thing. So their boats are also prepared from this kinds of trees, woods of Sundari trees, which is available in Sundarban as well as Gujarat also. Now sports goods packing box, then preparing from the woods, pine and cheat tree also, along with the turpentine is also prepared from the liquid of the cheat tree. Sandalwood, chandan is also prepared from the these kinds of trees and all. Then perfume, oil, cosmetic, basket, toys, goods, home decoration. Almost everything is prepared from these kinds of trees, as well as bamboo is also used widely. Now forest also provides us lac, that is sealing wax, then resin, gum, rubber, honey. Apart from that, cane is also obtained, then etc. Amla is also obtained, that is ambrosial, and then baheda is also there, then herde, then ashwagandha. All these kinds of trees are available. So you can see this chart shows you that in high blood pressure we need to go for the ashwagandha. As a bacterial infection, we need to take the limdo and all. Tulsi for the cold and cough. You can always keep 2 to 3 tulsi leaves inside your tea, milk, or whatever you're serving as a juice. Okay, then Arjun Sadar for the treatment of ailment of the heart and all. So this kinds of all the chart is given there, which shows you the detailed theory related to the herbs and the medicines too. And also it will show you the detailed theory related to the trees and the trees, like we can say trees and trees conservation act too here. Beside this, we can say leaf plates from the khakro leaves are like catechu from the K trees. BD are also prepared leaves from the prepared about tobaccos and all. And apart from that, we can say it also provide livelihood to the lots of people. Literally, we can say these are the forest and the contribution for the forest for the people and all. Economically also we are developing, mankindly also we are developing. So some of the environmental importance we need to understand today in this lecture, so that we can completely understand how to save the trees. See, till now we understood the project of trees. Till now we understood how can we save the trees. Till now we understood that these trees are helpful to us, and till now we understood that which kind of varieties are available. But now we need to go and we need to understand this kinds of trees must be protected, but how it can be protected, that is the main thing. Okay, so environmental importance of the forest, first of all we need to understand. The first topic says that the environment importance of the forest is the thing which we need to understand, follow, proceed further, and also we need to teach to other. The first thing is that forest is bringing the rain. Most important thing, the forest brings useful rain. They controls atmospheric pressure becoming adverse. They also provides us life-saving oxygen. Then forest control the flood. They absorb harmful gases like carbon dioxide, and forest prevents soil erosion too. Forest maintain the groundwater. They strictly advancing of the forest can be also generated, means if the forest is advancing, if the forest is increasing, if the desert is increasing, killing the forest, obviously forest can help to stop that kind of phenomena. Now forest also restrict advancing desert, as I said you. Plus forests are useful in the reducing of air pollution. Forest also enhance the natural beauty, as we always go in the natural beauty. Plus forest purifies the air. Therefore, the forests are actually ideal places for the adventure, tourism and activities also. As you know that I am a forest lover, I am a nature lover. Whenever I get time, I just move on. And that is how forests enhance the natural beauty. Forests purify the air. Forests are actually ideal places for the adventure, tourism, and to get the peace of mind. So this is how we can say some forests are also reserve forest, while some forests are actually coming in the national park, and the sanctuaries are also prepared in that. And that's how we can say we need to always keep protection for the forest. Now these were the basic benefits related to the forest, as I made you understand. Now we are going to learn about the forest conservation. Let's conserve the forest, and let's take the oath to conserve the forest. Ecosystem is formed due to the interrelation of biosphere. Now what is the interrelation? The biosphere's interrelation is actually completing when the human beings, mankind, is actually helping the biosphere. Apart from that, we can say due to the anti-environmental activities and selfishness of the man, ecosystem has been deteriorating since from the ancient time. So it is unstable. Desire to produce land is also responsible for the destruction for the forest and destroying by increasing the population. As much we increase the population, that much we are actually buying the land. And that is how policy of establishing industrial unit away from the resident areas, then urbanization, multi-purpose projects, lots of kinds of things are there which are actually making forest to decrease down, as well as ecological balance is also disturbed out. So here adverse effect can be noticed. Adverse effect can be noticed due to forest destruction, and it also includes decrease of rainfall, increase of global warming, increase of drought, greenhouse gases, and advancing desert also. So first of all, animals, wild animals, birds are becoming homeless. In the last we will also become the homeless. So therefore we can say, according to the national policy of 1952, there must be forest over 33% total geographical area in our nation. But in the India, forests are spread about only 23% area, which actually forest occupy only 10% area, which is available in the Gujarat. So this is how it is necessary to prevent destruction for the forest, and so protection and the conservation for the forest is very, very necessary, very, very important. Now remedies are also there. In order to protection of the conserving forest, the government of India has implemented the National Forest Policy since 1952. That shows in 1980 the parliament actually passed the Legislative Assembly Act in 1988 with a national policy which was announced to taking some of the steps to preserve the forest. Can you imagine? Since from the ancient time we were aware, we were knowing that the forest will be destructed and we need to go with the rules and regulations to protect it out, and that is happening till now. It is now happening. So we can say the first thing is that steps to be taken to preserve the forest. Forests are our national resources, your, mine, our all. So it is our moral duty to protect them. Should not burn anything in the forest, should not kill the animals. Second thing is tree felling should be stopped. Cutting of tree must be stopped. Heavy punishment must be implemented on that. If you are a tree smuggling, if you are a tree smuggler, the wood smuggler, obviously you can be going inside the jail if you are caught. Now, to increase the public participation in the Van Mahotsav, social forestry trees must be planted on their either side of the wasteland or river track, railway near the railway lines or the railway tracks, roads, and here and there. Okay, it means that schools should be considering the syllabus, as well as the people should be aware to go and celebrate the Forest Conservation Day, Van Mahotsav Day. And that is how it is also creating awareness about environmental education also in the schools and syllabus. I am already teaching you the schools and syllabus environment, that how the forest is actually needing in that, how the forest is valuable. Now see, something we need to like to know. 21st March is World Forest Day, 22nd is Earth Day, 5th June is World Environment Day, July stands for the Van Mahotsav, 16th September is actually World Ozone Day. So here, if you are actually interested to save the forest, you must remember these kinds of dates. Now, we need to also take the precautions to avoid the forest fire. Whenever you go in the forest, never ever carry any lighter or the matchstick inside the forest. It can create trouble, you as well as animal and the forest too. So we need to, if you found any kind of burning substance, we need to douse it very carefully. उसे बुझाना चाहिए हमें. ऐसा नहीं कि फॉरेस्ट पीपल वेलकम, हमारा क्या है, हमारा फॉरेस्ट थोड़ी ना है. नो नो नो, फॉरेस्ट जो है वो सबका है ना. तो डोंट वेट फॉर एनीवन. नाउ टू यूज़ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी रिसोर्सेज सच एज सोलर एनर्जी, बायो एनर्जी, wind energy, turbine energies, etc., etc. We need these kinds of things. So traditional resources like wood used to get energy also and to burn the fuel, as well as we can say explaining about the importance of the forest people through broadcasting media, TV, radio, telephone, WhatsApp, Facebook. Awareness must be created, and that's how we can say Forest Conservation Act can be done, and it can be also sustained well. So this was the lesson actually depending upon the chapter number 17, forest conservation, and you can say like natural vegetation and all. I hope you understood the lesson. We should always love the nature, we should always respect the nature, we should always think that how can we make the attempt to save the nature, and that is only the best thing which I am actually trying to make you understand, as I have already understood. Chalo, take care, see you there in some other part of this lecture. This is 17 number chapter, natural vegetation, 9th standard SS. I hope you will get some extra detail. You'll do surveys also, you'll do online, you will go with the analysis and all. So good luck for that. Take care, see you there in another lecture.